Okay, this one is for TitansTracks. Who wants to know how to do double, triple, quadruple jump and have it reset with the stamina bar. So, as you can see, got it kind of figured out. 3 jumps and you can't do it again until you land. So how's that work? First, you need to attach a counter that goes to a signal manipulator that goes to a force applier. The force applier is directional, and I have it set to the same strength and speed as the puppet's regular jump. So when you hit it once, you can't tell. The puppet's not actually jumping, it's a force emitter pushing it up. A force applier pushing it up. It looks the same though. So when you push X, it goes to a counter. That counter is only set to 1. Once it's fully counted, or 1, it goes to a signal manipulator, which is set to pulse, which goes to the applier. If it's not a pulse, you'll just keep going up. It turns on and it stays on. Another thing the first counter has to do is reset itself. Otherwise, you can only do the 1 jump until you land. You can't do a double or a triple or whatever. Now, the problem with that is you hit X, it resets. You can hit X over and over and over and over and over again until you're done. So, say I set a limit of 3. What happens here? You hit X, it goes to the first counter. To the second counter, it adds up until you get 3, and then it goes to the keyframe. Once the keyframe is activated, the very first counter is turned off. That way, you get 3 in the air. You can't do it again until that first initial counter is turned off, or turned back on. So there it goes, turns off, you can't do it. Now the hard part is resetting it properly. You can always set that impact center to the second counter and reset, which will reset the whole thing. But that way you jump 3 times, you hit, and you can jump immediately. There's no stamina bar that has to reload. So what I've done, the impact sensor goes to a timer. That timer is set to 1 second in my case. It can be half or 10 seconds or whatever. Once that's activated, it goes and resets itself. So it's 1 second, resets, 1 second, resets, 1 second. Resets. Once it has gone, it goes to a counter. A third counter, this counter is also set to 1. Once that's hit, it resets itself again. What's important here though is that that counter goes up to the second counter, which has 3, to the negative. So after a second, your 3 counter, which is now down to 0, it's up to 3, gets negated, now to 2, which resets that first counter. The requirements for the keyframe aren't there, so the initial counter starts back up again. This way, you have to wait 3 seconds for the stamina meter to fill up, or again, you can just jump 3 times, land, and do it 3 times. There's supposed to be some sort of a challenge there, I guess. You can change that to power-ups, or you have to do a special move. That's not important. What's important now is that the timer will keep going when it's in the air. So I had a situation where I would jump 3 times, and if there was a slight elevation difference, you'd go up for 3 seconds, drop for 4 seconds, but then it would reset, and you could jump 3 times again before you hit the ground. So what I've done, the impact sensor goes to a NOT gate. So when you're not touching the ground, the timer, so you can see the timer just keeps going. When you're not touching the ground, the timer stops completely and it resets. So there it is in action. And as you can see, after each second you get another jump. So if you jump and you land for 1 second, you get 1 jump again. If you jump and you wait for 2 seconds, you get 2 jumps. I don't have a stamina meter or any kind of visual representation except for the counters themselves. Now you can see, triple jump, it doesn't restart until you hit the ground. There you go. And again, you can change that timer to maybe power-ups, maybe change it to half a second, whatever. But here's what it looks like when it's done. 3 jumps, can't do anything. Wait 3 seconds, you get 3 jumps again. 2, 3, and it doesn't matter how far you fall, you don't get to jump another time until you've landed. So good luck.